PulseChain is now officially above the sacrifice price. Now, in my last video, I said that I expect PulseChain to blast through sac price in the next 7 days ago. And that video was about 6 days ago. So we did it even before my timeline had reached. And a lot of people are excited about this. And there's a lot of talk as well in the community. But there's one thing that nobody seems to be talking about. And it's the fact that PulseChain has gone back to its behavior before all the FUD that has been going on around. Now, we've always known that PulseChain, in fact, at least Hex initially, performed different to the market. When everything pumps, it doesn't necessarily pump. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But when everything dips, it can sometimes have incredible rallies during that time. And right now what we saw is we saw a big pullback from Bitcoin. At the same time, we see PulseChain start to rally. Now, it brings us back to that narrative of PulseChain, of Hex, of the ecosystem being decorrelated from the entire crypto space. Now, the one thing that had been pulling back the Hex and PulseChain is the FUD in the ecosystem. And I must say that FUD is not unwarranted FUD. It was FUD that was really meaningful, because what we started to see is a lot of OGs in the space were starting to get fearful and say that maybe this might not be the next big thing. Maybe it might not have incredible pumps. And after we saw Richard Hart we saw the announcement from Richard Hart that he had his law firm is going after the SEC and is fighting the case. A lot of people started saying, well, guys, I've always known, started saying that, look, they were always right. And some people started saying that, well, maybe they were wrong in their analysis. And I want to say this. Prior to us knowing that Richard Hart was going to fight, the right thing to do was to be a little bit concerned about where the market was going. The reason why I say this is because nothing at all could move the price of PulseChain. Nothing could, right? Richard Hart had tweets. He dropped a video. The whole community would try and rally up against around different narratives, but nothing would drive the price up. Anytime you would hear something happen, the price would dip further, dip further, dip further. But as soon as we saw this come out, it was a really shift in strategy, and it was a shift that really spoke to people, to what people were really concerned about. Now, if you argue that, well, no one was concerned about that, we always knew all along, the price tells you that that perspective is wrong. The reason why I say the price tells you that the perspective is wrong is because the price continued to dip despite everything. But the moment we had a shift in terms of legal strategy, the price started to do its thing. So I think that those who were kind of a little bit bearish had a right to be bearish at the time. Those who were bullish, they had a right to be bullish, but it should not be a bullishness that was without some question marks. It should have been a bullishness that is kind of diminished. Now, having said that, with where we are right now, the thing is completely shifted. We are back to the days where we're looking at the insane price predictions. We're back to that because all the fundamentals are lined up for that right now. The fundamentals are lined up for great price performance. Now, here's what I gotta say again. If you're looking at the risk reward for PulseChain right now, it's definitely better than Bitcoin. It's definitely better than Ethereum. And the beauty of it is that the risk is not that high. So you're taking less risk with potential massive gains than those tokens. If you look at most top 10 coins, even most top 100 coins, they don't have significant upside even in this rally. They don't. I personally don't see Bitcoin. I think I would start to get concerned once Bitcoin hits 90,000. I start to get concerned once it hits 90,000. Yeah, because we know that gains are going to diminish over time. If you look at the previous bull run, right? The previous bull run, before the one before, Bitcoin's top was 20,000, and then it rallied to 69,000. So now if 69,000 is our top, we cannot expect the same potential 3.5x that we got before. We expect the gains to be diminished because the asset is bigger. So if you're talking about Bitcoin, I start getting concerned at $90,000 for Bitcoin. That's a double. That's a single double for Bitcoin. Talking about Ethereum, I'm looking at 10,000. But then you talk about Pulse. If we're sitting at Pulse at sacrifice price right now, we still have incredible upside. And we're starting to see the ecosystem start to flourish. All the numbers are going up. The volume numbers are going up. So there's more people using the blockchain. And we're going to start to see a massive, insane pump on altcoins on the PulseChain ecosystem. We're going to start to see that. Because a lot of the bearish narrative has been crushed by the news that we had of Richard Hart fighting the SEC case. Now, there is reason for the bearish sentiments to be crushed. I'll tell you what it is. right? The reason we have a Bitcoin ETF right now is because legal action was taken, right? We've seen many cases where crypto companies win cases against the SEC, and I don't expect this to be any different. We've seen the XRP case, we've seen how that turned out. And if you look at how all these were structured, if you look at how XRP, their case, and how they launched their token, and you compare that with PulseChain, which had no token sale, it had a sacrifice. And I always say this, sacrifice means sacrifice. And when I say sacrifice means sacrifice, some people thought, but I've corrected that many times. Sacrifice is not like sacrifice, right? It's a real sacrifice. And the reason why I say that is this. Even up to now, up to a few days ago, some people are still sacrificing funds. Do those people have expectations of receiving PulseChain tokens? So the launch of PulseChain is different from the launch of many other projects that are winning cases against the SEC. So I think that it's a good time to be extraordinarily bullish in this ecosystem. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and I think that we're in the right space and gains will be made. We are in the year of gains, right? Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.